Hey, so we got a question from a parent, and they asked, my kid comes home from school completely fine and then loses it over something tiny. Why does everything fall apart at home? Yeah.
It's a good question. When you think your kid had a great day, right? And this specific one, the parent told us, school said that she had a great day.
Yeah.
She made good choices. She got through the day. She participated. So why now is she falling apart when something small happened?
Okay, so first and foremost, we want you to know that the child did not freak out just because of that one thing, that one tiny thing. We have an emotional threshold, and all day long, it wears away. So something tests our patience, we have to cope with something. All day long, that metaphorical cup is filling up. Everything is putting another little drop in there.
So this little girl was at school all day long, and she held it together. When we say she held it together, she held it together with the kids next to her moving in and out of their chairs. She held it together when the kid next to her was singing, Mary Had a Little Lamb or Old MacDonald.
Or tapping or touching her, right?
Yeah.
All the things that kids do in a classroom, she's dealing with and coping with.
And she had a good day, which meant she participated in all the activities, which also tells us that perhaps some days this child does not participate in all the activities.
Right.
So all of those activities were filling her cup very slowly, right? Everything was a drip in her cup. All those children around her, all the activities, maybe they did painting and she didn't like when her hands got dirty. All of these things were filling that emotional threshold up. So think about your morning routine, right? So all the things that go into your morning, maybe you wake up and your alarm didn't go off that morning. So now you wake up frazzled, and then maybe you step on your kid's Lego on the floor. Ouch, now you're in pain. And then you make it into the kitchen.
I mean, you're coping with all of the frustrations, the little annoyances that come your way. That is what's happening to a child as well.
Exactly.
Right? We as adults can understand it because it's filling our cup, right? We're more likely to explode or lose our temper over something that usually wouldn't bother us.
Right, so to throw this back to the adults out there, like you're getting ready to leave the house and go to work, and all of these things have taken place that morning, and now you get to a business meeting and maybe you snap at your team because your cup was already filled before you left the house. So that little thing that triggered your kid when they got home, it literally was just that. It was the trigger. It was the final drop in their cup. It wasn't the actual thing, right? The business meeting, the meeting itself, typically you can get through. It doesn't make you
somebody asks you a question and you don't feel immediately frustrated.
Right.
But when your emotional threshold is met, when that cup is filled, one more thing in it is going to cause you to explode.
Right. So if we can relate to the child in that way, now let's imagine, right? She's getting home from school and something small happens and she freaks out. So what can we do in order to kind of help this parent the next time they're like, what the heck? Why is my kid freaking out about something so small? What would we say to that parent, right? How would we make them feel better in that situation? What would we tell them to do?
First, talk less.
Yeah.
Just, if you want to say something, right? Because the first thing that crosses your mind as a parent is, oh my God, it's a green cup. Oh, this is one little thing. It's not a big deal. But to them in this moment, it is. So if we say, yeah, that looks hard. I'm sorry that one's dirty. Right? We just
I hate when I can't get exactly what I want.
Right. So as a parent, you get a minute to look at them and think, okay, they're having a hard time. That's it, right? We want to let them know.
This is
okay
me
that you're having a hard
snapping
time.
This is me snapping in the business meeting and then remembering, oh wait, it's not the business meeting. It's not the green cup.
Right. And you might be more willing or likely to apologize to an adult, right? You say, sorry, I didn't mean to snap at you. And sometimes we do that with our kids and sometimes we don't. So to take that first part away, if a child is melting down over something they don't usually, we want to compare that in our brains to, you do that sometimes too, over something that doesn't usually bother you. So as a parent,
And what might help make you feel better, right? After you explode, so after your child is really up in arms about something that's usually not that important to them. Like maybe you're going to go back to your desk and you're going to go get a coffee because that coffee makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, and it's going to help you to reset. It's going to help you to wake up. It's going to help you to change directions of your day. So how can we help our child feel better? What's going to help to empty out those drops that have now accumulated throughout their day so that they can cope with the green cup the next time, or so that we can front load the next time that this happens. So I think thinking of ways to help that child empty the cup. And like you said, I think the first step is not talking, right? Decreasing overall sensory input. And in this case, it's auditory, right? Not asking the child like, oh, which cup do you want instead? Do you want this one or this one? Now we're just placing more demands on that child when really we're trying to decrease the demands.
we're trying to empty their metaphorical cup, right? This thing that is filling up all day. We want to give strategies and regulation opportunities so that they can take something out of their cup, right? It can be a little bit lower so they can handle whatever comes their way. So turning down the lights, turning on some favorite music, validating what they're going through. Oh, I know it was a long day and it's really hard when we can't have what we want. I would love X, Y, and Z also, right? You can use a familiar example.
Let them have a moment.
Yeah.
When you walk out of that meeting, you probably just want to go sit in your office and be like, ugh, why did my day start like this? Like, let me reset. And so we want to create a reset for your child as well.
Right. So decreasing that sensory input, right? They just come home from a long day. So did you. You guys don't need to get into a power struggle right now. So lower your language, turn the lights down if you can. Maybe you just model taking a walk outside or going to the fridge and getting a drink of water, because those are the things that are going to help you feel better. And when a child sees you do something that helps you feel better, they're more likely to do it again.
So the next time, right, that the screen cup situation comes up, that your kid gets home and it seemingly is that they are melting down over something very small, your first thought maybe should be, hey, how can I decrease some of this overall stimulation in the environment, in your house, in order to let your child kind of empty out some of those drips in their cup so that they have room to fill it back up with bath time and homework.
Yeah,
and
all
dinner,
the demands
right?
that are going to come for the rest of the day.
But if you start to place the demands in that moment because you're like, they can cope with this, I don't know why they're freaking out. No, now they need a punishment. Well, now you're just fighting against each other because, right, they're overwhelmed. They are you in the morning when you got to that business meeting. And we all need, once we know that we are stressed out or we have filled our cup to capacity, we all need ways to help empty it.
And the goal in this moment, right, is to teach the child what to do next time, right? The problem is it's hard to hear, I don't have what I want at the end of a long day that you've coped all day long with things that you didn't necessarily want to do. So teaching them in that moment is not going to work. Allowing time and space for the feeling, validating their experience, trying some sensory interventions that are very minimal, just adjusting the environment, lowering your language, those things combined are most likely going to shorten this meltdown, right? And we don't want you going into it thinking, I have to have the green cup clean every single day when they come home. That puts more stress on you. The point is to take a step back.
Not engage in that power struggle because you're not communicating with an upstairs brain. Your child is not in their thinking brain right now. So take a step back, look at the environment, and see if there's a few things that you can shift to kind of lower overall sensory input.
And you might notice that it helps you as well as the adult to lower everything. You just came home from a long day at work, and you have many more demands as a parent for the rest of the day. So that reset might actually help you as well. And that's what I would suggest if you are having a kid who's melting down over something tiny, right? It's not the something tiny. It's everything that led up to that moment. And can we stop all those things? No. Can we always make sure to have the green cup clean so they never freak out? No, because those aren't the points. It's teaching them that you do need some time to decompress. You do need some time to come home and regulate. And I can help you through this.
And hopefully it empowers you to know, wait, I can take a step back and kind of let things settle and not have to respond in a way where you feel frustrated and annoyed.